Well, here we are again, and we're going to have a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Hopefully. Because, of course, again, I put the stuff in one place, and can I find it when I come back? No, I cannot. Why? I tell a lie. Here we go with a little potpourri for the next hour. Hopefully, we will have Suzanne Musso, who should be back from Abu Dhabi. But let's just take a little trip through not memory lane so much as just reminding people who we are and what we do. Why not? Well, there we are. I have to try to come back here and not leave you stuck like that. There we go. Here I am. Now I'm pulling a Lineker today because I'm not going to worry about what I should do and shouldn't do. Rule of law is going to go out of the window. I'm going to do just exactly what I feel like. And I won't feel guilty because everybody flocked to the idea that you can do whatever the hell you like. And that seems to be the way it is today. So who am I to fight it? Who am I to be a staunch supporter of rule of law? Who am I to say, let's start getting back to some decent conventions and to hell with the woke people? Who am I to do that? Well, I'm nobody. I'm not a celebrity. Not anymore. I'm not anyway. I was a few years ago, I suppose, in a funny sort of way. But I'm certainly nobody important and nobody special. So why should anybody pay any attention to me? So in which case, why can't I do my own thing? Well, I'm going to. Now, one of the things that I am particularly keen on is that we support charities from time to time. Now, we've done a series and we replay bits of it quite often to support research, Cancer Research UK. And we now have decided that because I have Parkinson's, that we should pay a little bit of attention to Parkinson's, particularly since I don't know how much longer I've got. Who knows? So while it's fresh in my mind and everybody else's mind that Parkinson's, which is almost a forgotten disease, should be given a little a twist of the tail. And the other Sunday, I decided that, oh gosh, I'm sitting here and I'm twiddling my thumbs. No, I wasn't actually, but I did take time out from a busy schedule. And what I did was I put out what I consider to be an appeal. And I'm going to do that now. Right? So stand by. Stand by, stand by, stand by, because it's quite important that we should do this. Here we go. Good morning. This is Mirador Television, and this is totally unscheduled. Behind this picture of Parkinson's disease is me. And what's more, I've got Parkinson's. Oh, yes, I have. And that's why I thought I was just pottering around this morning. And if you try to see me picking something up, it's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I have to flip it against the wall so that I can get some leverage. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's my computer, whether it's a pin, whether it's a pen, or whether it's a £5 note. That's a rarity in itself. But I just wanted to have a quick word to make an appeal on behalf of Parkinson's and Parkinson's sufferers. I don't want you to send me any money or this station any money. We're very bad at handling money. We get ourselves into all sorts of trouble trying to handle money. But please send some donations to Parkinson's, because it is the forgotten. It is the forgotten disease, and it's debilitating, and it's frightening, and it's scary. A lot of famous people have had it. Billy Graham, Michael J. Fox, Muhammad Ali, the Big In, whose name I remembered a moment ago and I've forgotten now. That's a sign of Parkinson's. You start to get a little bit of dementia. Not a great deal, but some. But Neil Diamond. There are lots of famous people who have Parkinson's, and I know a few who fight it. That's the point. It's really a positive way of thinking. I am very positive. It ain't going to get me. I've had it for almost 10 years now. And yes, I'm worse now 10 years later than I was 10 years ago. But I'm still not as bad as everybody thought I would be. Yeah, I shuffle. I have difficulty walking. I don't have difficulty holding a glass of wine or a pint, I'll tell you that. But basically, I look at it in a very positive way, because each morning when I take a pill, which I have to take, I say to Parkinson's, bugger off. Just get away from me. Go away. And it does for a day. I'm able to function almost normally. I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm 83. I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I've got Parkinson's. I get myself ready. Off I go. And I start a television. Well, I start preparing a television thing at about 7:15. Sorry. Yeah, I get up at 5:15. At 7:15 in the morning at the White Hart Hotel in Lewis, and then at 8:30 I go on the air. Okay, it's only on the internet, it's only on broadband, it's only on social media, but nonetheless it gets to enough people to count. And I run a television operation, a television channel. And I often say, come on, get behind Parkinson's. This one is specific. Get behind Parkinson's. That's what I'm saying to you. Get behind Parkinson's. Let's see if we can. There. Right. That's what's happening to the inside of the body. Even though on the outside it doesn't look too bad. At least for some. Some people shake. Some people have difficulty lifting their feet. Some people have all sorts of manifestations of Parkinson's. But basically, I tell it to bugger off. And then I spend 3 hours in front of the camera each morning, steering through all sorts of people with all sorts of interesting things. For what? 3,000 people? Only probably about 50 watching at any given time. But does it matter? No, it does not, because I believe passionately in what I do. And in believing passionately what I do, I'm able to shut off the fact that I've got Parkinson's. So please, what I'm saying to you is, there's no formal appeal. They don't even know I'm doing it. Please send money to Parkinson's. Yeah, you can send £3 to a puppy, or you can see £3 to a lion, or you can see £3 to a child in distress, and all those things are very worthy. But Parkinson's does tend to hit you later in life, and it's us oldies that get forgotten a lot of the time. Well, we ain't forgotten. We have a voice, and we make it heard every day. And I make it heard to Parkinson's. Bugger off, I tell it, and it helps. I don't know that it buggers off totally. No, it doesn't. Of course, it doesn't. I've still got it, but I do take a positive attitude towards it, and I would ask you to take a positive attitude towards it. Just send them a few bob. That's all. That's all, just to help the research. There's one I saw where if I started to do Irish jigs, it would help. Well, if that's the sort of research that's being done, God bless it. Why not? Let's try an Irish jig. Not right now. It's breakfast time. Anyway, this is Key Hayes from Mirador Television saying to you, please, 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 will you consider giving some cash to Parkinson's? Give it a go. It's a disease that is forgotten largely in the welter of publicity that you can get about all the diseases that hit people. But some famous people have had it, and some famous people have fought it to the bitter end. I'm going to fight it to the bitter end. Have I got another week? Have I got another day? Have I got another year? Have I got another decade? Oh, God help everybody if I have. But I'm going to fight it. For as long as I've got left, I'm going to fight it. Why don't you help me? Run alongside me. All right? Give it a little bit of something. Even if you just wake up in the morning and tell Parkinson's to bugger off. I would urge you, don't forget it. That's the main thing. Toodle pip. Well, there we are. That's an appeal for Parkinson's. I'm quite happy to not receive benefits from anybody for my Parkinson's. I fight it. It is sometimes very loudly and noisily, sometimes quietly. But the fact of the matter is, I am the sort of person that always sees the glass half full, no matter how dire and difficult things have been. And believe me, trying to keep this television channel open over lockdown and so on has been one of the biggest tests I've ever had in my life. And I woke up many a time in the evening thinking I'm going to have to stop it tomorrow. But I managed to squeeze by. Right? We still got lots of difficulties to resolve as a result of that decision, but we decided to do it, and we're doing it. And we keep on adding a bit that's new every week and every hour and every day. So we ask you to support us, and in doing so, support Parkinson's. Right? Tell Parkinson's to bugger off. Don't tell us to bugger off, because we'll listen to you with that sort of station, that sort of channel. And we would, and we would go away. But nonetheless, it's well, it's sort of fun. It's not fun. I know I have two or three friends who have Parkinson's, and it has a whole variety of things, and I can't ask them. I can't ask them to tell it to bugger off. I really can't. It's been devastating to them when they found out. I was lucky. I had my doctor, when he told me, he said, "Oh, yeah, that's Parkinson's." He said, "It's all right. We got drugs to control it." So I've always believed that, even when I mean, sometimes at home I have difficulty in getting up, standing up. Sometimes I have difficulty in staying up. But what the heck? You've got to face these things, because there are worse things in life. But there are some people to whom it's absolutely devastating, and I do understand that. All I can say to them is, look, try to take a positive attitude. Try to tell it is not going to conquer you, that you will conquer it. you'll find out how to control it, and you'll get on with your lives and continue to make your life positive and fruitful. I hope. And I'm upset. Oh, I piss people off with this channel. I mean, I really do. The politicians, local politicians, won't come near us. But that's what local television should be about. Although we are not local in the true sense of the word. We are local, but not parochial. So we don't get into the minutiae of what's going on out there on the street. But nonetheless, we do make a difference. We continue to make a difference. And we know that because of the feedback we get. So do support us. Do tell Parkinson's to bugger off. But do, even through a few bob, to the Parkinson's head office, and you can find that on the web easily enough, is help support those people to whom it is devastating that they find that they've got it. To me, I don't like it. I'm not happy that I've got it. But it is what it is, and I've got to face it. So I tell it to get lost. And I try to make a very positive contribution to our community, our society, and for that matter, to the world generally. Yeah, we've got a couple of viewers actually in Patagonia. But you'll be amazed at where we get little responses from around the world because of this internet, this new technology. To me, it's new technology anyway. And we do make a difference. We do alert people. We do bring people to be aware of what's going on. Some of it is pertinent to them, some of it's not. Some of the stuff that we cover overseas is pertinent to us, and some of it is not. You take the rough with the smooth. The way people watch television now is totally different to the way it was even 5 years ago. So we never know how many and who is tapping in. The only thing I can say is that we get terrific reaction from all sorts of people. Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it positive, some of it naughty. I love the naughty bits because that gets me angry, and I can't wait to have a go back at them. I'm pulling a Lineker. I'm doing my own thing and not thinking in terms of what this channel should be doing. And this channel, I may say, does sometimes skate on thin ice. We present alternative programs, not because we endorse the sentiments, not because we support the position that the presenters take, but because we believe that you cannot have a free and just and open society unless you make things, outlets such as this, the internet, and for that matter, established media. If you don't open it to the alternatives, you're not really supporting true democracy. You're not supporting true freedom of speech. And I'm afraid that our society is full of people who espouse the cause of freedom of speech, of democracy, and who don't know what the hell it's all about. It's just to them words to support whatever it is that they think. Here, we have a totally and utterly open mind. And as long as people actually aren't obscene and don't actually libel, then we are open to all sorts of ideas and thoughts. So from time to time, if you dip in, you might find somebody saying something that you don't like. But I hope that you'll get behind me and understand that they must have the right to say it. Our government has lost its way, and actually society has lost its way. It doesn't know where it is. And we bow down. I mean, the publishers bowing down to the woke people. It's starting to change Agatha Christie's novels and Roald Dahl's children's stories. Harry Potter will be under the microscope next, I'm quite sure. That's rubbish. That's nonsense. And we must not allow it to take a grip and to steer our society. We are all individuals. Yes, we must conform to rule of law. We must obey certain rules. Otherwise, we would have chaos. We've had anarchy. But in obeying rule of law, we must have the freedom to express our views, whatever those may be. And I'm afraid that we have in our society establishment who aren't so keen on that. The internet, where I'm not sure what they think they believe because they've got these algorithms. Is the most amusing algorithm censorship that I came across is in our very early days on Mirador. We actually showed a little clip of the War Memorial here in Lewis. And that War Memorial has got at its base some maidens carved in bronze. And one of them is showing a breast. It's very tastefully done. But it's the algorithm for one of the social media came back and said it was obscene. It's been on view in the middle of Lewis for it's 1924. It's obscene, according to social media. Well, that's the rubbish that we must make sure we don't give in to. I understand what they're trying to do, but they're doing it in a ham-handed way, and the only way they know how, and that is through use of computerized stuff. And that's not the answer to everything. It really isn't. Anyway, I'm having a nice little rant here. I have no idea what time it is. Oh gosh! It's 5 to 10. 5 to 10. We better take a look at one of the things. I think what I'm going to do is we did in the past. Let's show this thing again, shall we? Yeah, just to show you who we are. There, Mirador. I remember the name. Mirador. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. By the way, our weather forecast said that it's going to be really very strong winds, heavy rain, and a totally miserable day out there. And at the moment, it is 11 degrees, and it's mostly sunny. The courthouse, which is opposite to our studio here in the White Hart Hotel, is bathed in sunlight. The people are wandering around in the streets without Macintoshes or any obvious clothing. And actually, it is going to get even warmer than 11 degrees. But if it's 11 degrees now, that does mean that you can actually go out without a heavy coat. But just in case it all comes piling in, sometimes what happens is they get it wrong by just a few hours, is make sure that you're ready to enjoy the day. Enjoy the day. Why did I tell you that? I can't remember. I really can't remember. Parkinson's, you see. Yeah, now do you see why I tell you to step off? Now, what we did back in the day, in the very early part of this channel and its life, is we did a police program called Catch 'em. And most of it is still pertinent today. But it's just to see and show some of the things that we did do in the past. Let's have a look at an episode of Catch 'em. I think you might just enjoy it, just for the sake of watching it, rather than yes, he said. There we go. Here it is, and just so you can see what we did, but also that these are the sort of things that we can do that make us local, but not parochial. So here you go. Have a little dip into this.
Cash point fraud. It's moving south, so watch your cash carefully. It's a dog's life. If you own one, microchip it. It's now the law. And Lewes Prison, often home to the rich and famous. A newspaper, please, Dawn.
Certainly, Keith. There we go.
Thank you very much. There you go. Hi, Seb.
Hello.
A pint, please.
No worries. Thank you.
Coffee, please, Kath.
Good morning. There you go, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'm very sorry we don't take card.
It's hard to think now what you can't buy with a credit or debit card. But there are still nice little cafes, like this one, where cash is still king. Or, believe it or not, money is still needed to buy a bus ticket. And then, of course, they're still repaying the tenner you borrowed off a pal and forgot to give back. Hi, David. Thanks, David. How are you? Yeah. Here's that tenner I owe you.
That's very good.
Sorry about that. Hi, I'm Keith with the latest edition of Catch 'em, the crime show that deals with the bad people in Lewes. It's possible to buy almost anything with a card nowadays, but we do need cash from time to time. And anyway, it's a comfortable feeling to have a fiver or two in your pocket. How do we get it? From cash machines, of course. And the villains know it. There has been a spate of tampering with cash machines in the north of England, and Sussex police are warning the public down here that it's spreading south. Police forces across the country have reported that a number of cash machines have been tampered with or modified so that criminals can get customers' bank details. Thieves tampered with ATMs in the north of England this week, and local police said it is advising the public to be vigilant and report anything suspicious. If it looks as if the machine has been tampered with, call the bank immediately and then call police on 101. Better safe than sorry. We're a nation of pet lovers. One man and his dog has been the mantra of the English for an age and a half. But as of this April, dog owners have a new legal responsibility other than walkies, dinner time, and cuddles. All dogs throughout the UK must be microchipped. Owners who fail to comply face a fine of £500. Authorities estimate that there are still more than 1 million animals that haven't had a chip inserted, but the law applies to every dog and every owner. It's now the law. The chip is about the size of a grain of rice. It's inserted in the loose skin on the back of the neck. The chip contains a code which tells vets or dog catchers who the owners are and where they can be contacted. The scheme is designed to help reunite stray dogs with their families, identify reckless owners, and save local councils thousands of pounds looking after strays. So keep the lead, but get the microchip. It's now the law. Hello, darling. I'll be late home for dinner. How very thoughtful of me to let the good lady know. But if you do it while driving your car on your handheld mobile, it will be an expensive meal. If the police catch you, you'll get 3 penalty points on your licence, £100 fine. And if you have been particularly dangerous while driving, the fine could rise to £1,000 and being disqualified from driving. It's dangerous and has cost lives. But on the outskirts of Lewes, the town's jail looks formidable. It was built in 1853, and over the years has played host to a number of famous names from the world of crime. The Russian prisoners from the Crimea War, who were held in the old naval prison, have become famous over time. There's a monument in St. John sub Castro churchyard to those inmates who died while in captivity. It's paid for by Russia. A play has been written about them, and only recently the Russian ambassador paid a visit to the site. Less well known is that 300 Finnish grenadiers, fighting for the Russians, were incarcerated in Lewes jail, not the naval prison. They were the new prison's first inmates. Several leaders of the Irish Easter Uprising in Dublin of 1916 were held there. They included Eamon de Valera, later the Republic's first president and prime minister. Probably the most famous murderer in the prison was John George Haig. He was known as the acid bath murderer. That's the way he tried to dispose of his victims. He appeared at Lewes Assize Court in July 1949 and was found guilty in just 17 minutes. He was hanged by the then famous Albert Pierrepoint in August 1949. A notorious local murder in 1912 saw John Williams hanged in Lewes Prison. Williams shot a police inspector in Eastbourne, for which he paid the ultimate price. The notorious Cray twins, Ronnie and Reggie, were imprisoned in Lewes jail in the 60s. The colourful, so-called celebrity gangsters managed to keep business going as usual while behind bars, hiring out protection teams to Hollywood stars. Frank Sinatra hired 17 of them from the Crays. No prison worth its salt can exist without at least one ghost, and Lewes is no different. Local gossip has it that one of the corridors is haunted by a man in Victorian-style prison garb. He is said to have dropped dead of a seizure when he saw his son enter the same block as a fellow prisoner. So keep your eyes peeled as you pass on the way out of Lewes on the road to Brighton. You never know what you might see. And that's Catch 'em for this week. See you next week for more news about crime around the district.
Now, the funny thing is, that 3/4 of the issues raised in that particular issue of Catchem are still pertinent today. So crime moves on, but quite often it stays ahead of the good guys. So do be careful out there. Be very careful out there, because it can catch up with you. Yes, it can indeed. Now, I'm trying to bring you some interesting stuff with now. Drink has always been, despite what I've said in my Parkinson's appeal about I don't drink that much anymore. But that doesn't mean to say I didn't in the past and that I don't actually enjoy it. So a drink has become one of the things that we watch for quite carefully. And we got one here, which we have shown before, but you might enjoy again, called Just the One. Just the One, Miss Annie. Aha. Let's take a peek at it, shall we? Yeah. Oh, why not? Yeah. Ooh.
Over the road from the shops, held up by ship's timbers, is the Gardener's Arms. There seems to be a tradition in Lewes, although no one admits to it, of omitting the epithet pub or tavern. This pub is called by locals simply the Gardeners. And the Gardeners it was. The origins of this pub go back to when it was an ordinary house, owned by a gardener. Often, after work, he would invite other gardeners into his front room for a drink. Eventually, it made sense to formalize the ritual, so it turned into a pub. The Gardeners is a true pub. Unusual now, it only serves pork pies and sausage rolls. Yet each year it's in the top tier of finalists for Pub of the Year. Stood proudly on the riverbanks. Harvey's Brewery, the key industry of the town. The bloody high street of a tiny town.
You'd think the old man would give up pubs for Lent or something, wouldn't you? Well, think on. He even gets absorbed in how the pubs were in January's time. Luddite.
Flanked by the church, the rectory, and the people's homes, stands the inn. In its shade and beneath its roof, men of all degrees and of all opinions meet in comradeship and comfort. Walk through any English market town and you'll find the inn at the center of its life. On market day, the people from the country around meet there to discuss the trend of prices, their children's health, and their home affairs. It's the same in the villages. When the sun warms the earth, they sit outside and watch the world go by. At the English inn today, there is a hospitality that to the host is just as much a sacred charge as it was to the monks and barons in the Middle Ages, who first gave bread and ale to travellers. Often the only sanctuary in out-of-the-way parts, the monasteries had a lodge open to pilgrims and other wayfarers. Later, these lodges became separate establishments and were eventually run as inns, under such signs as the Pilgrim's Inn. One example of monastic origin is the Bull, which gets its name from the papal bull, or bill, not the animal. These inns of England have seen history happen in their yards. Pilgrims and warriors have trodden their stairways. Here, medieval knights refreshed themselves on their journeys to the Crusades, to fight under the banner of St. George. The inns have preserved much of England's architecture. The early inn has preserved some of the finest carvings and treasures. Like the church, it was a sanctuary. Hence, most of these carvings have a religious meaning.
English sparkling wines are beginning to win an enviable reputation across the globe. And that reputation is turning into sales. British supermarket chain Waitrose has reported a 188% increase in sales of English sparkling wine last year, and that trend is expected to continue. The soil and climatic conditions in southern England are remarkably similar to those of the Champagne region in France. So much so that leading French champagne house Taittinger has bought land in Kent and has begun producing English sparkling wine. But the owners of English vineyards are not prepared to take second place. Ridgeview Estate Wines in Ditchling has been producing English sparkling wine since 1994. And recently, the company received the prestigious accolade of having its wine served by the Queen to Chinese Premier Xi Jinping at a state dinner. Ridgeview is a family business which has a strong sense of history when it comes to its products. The vineyard's trademark is Merit, named in honour of Englishman Christopher Merit. This wine pioneer made a presentation to the Royal Society in London in 1662, explaining the process of making sparkling wines. That was 30 years before the French began producing champagne. Last year, Ridgeview produced a bumper crop and has similar ambitions for this year. The product can be seen at a variety of produce events in the region, notably Brighton and Hove's Food and Drink Fair in May. And the winemaker plans to repeat the success of last year when it introduced its range of sparkling wines to New Yorkers. Want to check out the claims that Ridgeview makes? There are plenty of stockists within the Lewes district. As one might suspect, it's available at Harvey's, but also Larder in Ditchling, Middle Farm on the road to Eastbourne, and of course the English Wine Centre at Drusilla's Roundabout. These successes have created a rush to develop new vineyards in Sussex. Licence applications last year were up by 40%. It's not just sparkling wines that are gaining a reputation. Still wines have also been around a long time. Both are now beginning to take the French market by storm, as demonstrated by the French purchase of acreage in Kent. The key question now is if growth will mean a larger and more expansive English wine industry, or a homegrown luxury product suitable for big and glittering occasions. For the moment, only time will tell. Trevor, where's my drink? Ladder Daniels of South Downs Television at Ridgeview Vineyards, tasting a true competitor of French champagne. So next up on Food Glorious Food, a new way to sell wines in Lewes. Symposium has a friendly, laid-back atmosphere with staff who clearly have a passion for wine. Symposium has a limited range of Sussex wines, but what they have is top drawer, and its range of quality grape types is within most budgets. Whether it's the cheese and meat platter, a single malt scotch, crunchy local bread or a glass or two of decent claret, this wine bar has found a unique way to sell its wines. And in today's world of big is better, the Symposium has found its niche.
Hey guys! In this video, I'll show you how to prepare at home an incredible liquor. It's gin. For this you need 1 liter of 50% alcohol, 17 grams of juniper, berries must be navy blue, and I've slashed them with rolling pin. Then you need 7 grams of coriander seeds, 2.5 gram of orange peel, 1.5 gram of lemon peel, 1.5 gram of acacia bark, and a pinch of hyssop, a pinch of anise, a pinch of fennel, a pinch of licorice. Fill up the jar with alcohol and all ingredients and shake it. I let it infuse for about 6 days in the dark place, shaking it every day. After 7 days of infusing, it's time to distill it. I gotta use a simple moonshine still. I've dismounted a metal gauze from the shelf for better flavoring. By using a gauze, I filter the infusion into the boiler and add water. You need to get a 33% ABV liquor. The smell is incredible. Let's start distilling. I've set up a simple moonshine still, so only the cool box is working. Temperature's rising and I see first drops. I separate about 20 milliliters of 4 shots just for safe. I've set up the range at 1000 watts and start separating of gin. It's already half a liter, so let's check out the smell. It's very fresh, it's like a smell of fur. I've got about 600 milliliters and an alcoholometer reads 42% ABV. Let's stop separating, cause we have tails. ABV of gin is equal to 67%. I stretch it till 45%, leave for 1 week and test it. Let's start testing our homemade gin. It's stretched till 45% and it was infusing for 12 days. First of all, I'll test it in pure form. The aroma is very rich. It has nice, tender and harmonious aroma. The main player in flavor development is juniper. Not strong odor, but it's mild. And the juniper is contrasted with coriander. Let's taste. This also holds true for the taste. Taste is tender and mild. It's not a strong kind of gin. This one is tender and mild. I like it in pure form. So now let's test how tasty it's with tonic. I'll make a classic gin tea in the ratio of 1 to 2. Well, let's taste! Delicious! Now I know how I drink it. Incredible combination. You can feel light bitterness, but it's just the right taste. It goes very light. The ratio of 1 to 2 is nice. Tasty. You know you can drink it all cause it's silky and freshalizing. As for me, the combination of this gin with Schweppes tonic is ideal. In conclusion, I'd like to say that I like this recipe very, very much. The combination of gin and Schweppes tonic is delicious. The taste of G&T is tender and it combines with all the herbs very, very nice. Just try to make it by yourself, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Thumbs up for new recipes, subscribe to my channel. See ya!
Well, there you are. That's his little tip. Only the one. Just the one. Mrs. Ellie. I hope you found some of that informative and instructive, and it gives you an opportunity to have a little tipple first thing on a Monday. I get my first tipple on a Tuesday when Kevin, who looks after the bar here, comes and prepares the beers for the White Hart for the coming week. And I have become the official taster. It's a very responsible job. And at about 10:15 on a Tuesday morning, long before the bar is open, as I get to actually sample just a little to make sure that it is pure and it is good and tasty. And he takes my opinion and my expertise quite seriously. Yes, he does. We do have a lot of fun on this program. Actually, here at the White Hart, we most certainly do. And let's remind you who we are, shall we? Yes. Well, I did warn you that we're quirky. And why not? Why not be a little quirky here and there along the way? The next half hour is we're not absolutely sure. I'm going to hold fire a little while just to see whether Suzanne Mouchot is back from Abu Dhabi. But if not, we'll show you just a few other things that we've done from time to time. But let me first of all just take this moment to tell you that it is now 27 minutes past 10 o'clock on the morning of the 12th, Monday morning of the 12th of March 2023. And today, the forecast was for very strong winds, very heavy rain, pretty miserable all the way around, and we were going to get buffeted. In fact, I wore this hat rather than my trilby, because if I wear my trilby when it gets very, very windy, it goes hurtling down the high street, and normally I have to yell ahead And normally it's some nice lady who's doing her shopping. Stomp on it, to try and stop it from disappearing into the ooze. So it's not that sort of morning at all. And you are perfectly safe in going out. The courthouse on Lewis High Street is bathed in sunshine. And all in all, people are enjoying there's a lady there pushing her pram, and she's not overly dressed. There's an official from the court outside having a fag, and he's in his suit, but he's not got a heavy coat on. Generally speaking, it's not at all unpleasant out there. And it's quite pleasant in here because when I get in the morning, I'm greeted by a roaring fire, which is absolutely superb. And one of three ladies who tend the front desk, each taking turns throughout the week. This morning it is Shannon, who is just a lovely, lovely lady and makes me feel very much at home and looks after me. Some mornings it is Sally, the owner or co-owner of the hotel, who is also very bright and cheery. And then my favorite, Jane, who she always makes sure that the fire is roaring and that everything is laid out for me when I get in here at 7:15. You can ask for a nicer place to come to work. And after I've just settled down, after about 10 or 15 minutes, coffee appears as if by magic. And I'm made to feel a very happy bunny indeed. So that's where we come to work, and that's whether the weather is good, bad, or indifferent. It is great indoors. Outdoors, of course, it's variable. But today we gave you the wrong steer as far as the weather is concerned, because that's the information that we got from the so-called experts. I don't blame them for getting it wrong. The weather is a capricious entity which will try to fool you all the time. It's Mother Nature's way of pricking you into realizing who's the boss, who's in charge. Hey, well, it's now 10:31, and shall we? Well, yes, I think what we do is we'll start on the program, and if Suzanne comes along, we can always we can always break in, can't we? Yes, we can indeed. And, we're quite prepared to do so. Now, for the second time this morning, I am going to invite you because, as you can see, I'm in jolly mood. I'm feeling very positive about everything today, and it's a good way to start the week. Whether it'll last or not, who knows? Because weeks can bring the 7 or the 5 days that we're on the air can bring all sorts of things, and sometimes depression, sometimes. And I'm going to skip the Lineker affair. I mean, I've never come across such a bunch of bloody nonsense in all my life, where a whole nation has sort of decided to give in to a bunch of celebrities. Celebrities are wonderful people. They do their thing, entertain extremely well. Sportsmen play the game well to our entertainment. Why do they decide that they want to mix it up and make assholes of themselves by making protestations because they are good at sports or good at game shows or whatever? It's just so much nonsense, and I just can't be bothered to get involved. But what I am going to do is I'm going to remind you about Parkinson's, because it is the forgotten disease, and nobody should. Well, it's not nobody, but we should make sure that we try to pay attention to some of these things. We're always giving £3 to save bunny rabbits and giraffes, and quite rightly so. We're also always giving £3 to actually look after disadvantaged children and people who are ill, and quite rightly so. But, you know, sometimes the forgotten diseases, because they happen to attack the elderly rather than the young. Mind you, that's not true exclusively of Parkinson's. Parkinson's does attack the young as well. But generally speaking, it's the elderly, the more aged, who suffer most. So I'm going to, this channel is going to try and help Parkinson's people get the money that they need for the research to see whether something can be done, because at the moment nothing can be done. It gets you in the end. So I'm enjoying my time when I can actually mouth off, have fun in front of the camera, come in and have fun with the ladies in the White Hart. Is generally speaking, life is pretty damn good, except that I know that it gets a wee bit worse for me. When I started to come in here a year ago, it is just about a year ago that we've been broadcasting from the White Hart Hotel, and I was able to have a spring in my step. Now I shuffle in. So I say to people, you know, the thing is that this shuffling makes me look like an old man. And one or two people who know me very well have looked me in the eye and said, but you are an old man. So much for the sympathy. But anyway, get behind Parkinson's, will you? Yeah, get behind it, because it needs it. It needs it indeed. Good morning. This is Mirador Television, and this is totally unscheduled. Behind this picture of Parkinson's disease is me. And what's more, I've got Parkinson's. Oh, yes, I have. And that's why I thought I was just pottering around this morning. And if you try to see me picking something up, it's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I have to flip it against the wall so that I can get some leverage. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's my computer, whether it's a pin, whether it's a pen, or whether it's a £5 note. That's a rarity in itself. But I just wanted to have a quick word to make an appeal on behalf of Parkinson's and Parkinson's sufferers. I don't want you to send me any money or this station any money. We're very bad at handling money. We get ourselves into all sorts of trouble trying to handle money. But please send some donations to Parkinson's, because it is the forgotten. It is the forgotten disease, and it's debilitating, and it's frightening, and it's scary. A lot of famous people have had it. Billy Graham, Michael J. Fox, Muhammad Ali, the Big In, whose name I remembered a moment ago and I've forgotten now. That's a sign of Parkinson's. You start to get a little bit of dementia. Not a great deal, but some. But Neil Diamond. There are lots of famous people who have Parkinson's, and I know a few who fight it. That's the point. It's really a positive way of thinking. I am very positive. It ain't going to get me. I've had it for almost 10 years now. And yes, I'm worse now 10 years later than I was 10 years ago. But I'm still not as bad as everybody thought I would be. Yeah, I shuffle. I have difficulty walking. I don't have difficulty holding a glass of wine or a pint, I'll tell you that. But basically, I look at it in a very positive way because each morning when I take a pill, which I have to take, I say to Parkinson's, bugger off. Just get away from me. Go away. And it does for a day. I'm able to function almost normally. I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm 83. I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I've got Parkinson's. I get myself ready. Off I go. And I start a television. Well, I start preparing a television thing at about 7:15. Sorry. Yeah, I get up at 5:15. At 7:15 in the morning at the White Hart Hotel in Lewis, and then at 8:30 I go on the air. Okay, it's only on the internet, it's only on broadband, it's only on social media, but nonetheless it gets to enough people to count. And I run a television operation, a television channel, and I often say, "Come on, get behind Parkinson's." This one is specific. Get behind Parkinson's. That's what I'm saying to you. Get behind Parkinson's. Let's see if we can. Yeah, there. Right. That's what's happening to the inside of the body, even though on the outside it doesn't look too bad. At least for some. Some people shake. Some people have difficulty lifting their feet. Some people have all sorts of manifestations of Parkinson's. But basically, I tell it to bugger off, and then I spend 3 hours in front of the camera each morning, steering through all sorts of people with all sorts of interesting things. For what? 3,000 people? Only probably about 50 watching at any given time. But does it matter? No, it does not, because I believe passionately what I do. And in believing passionately what I do, I'm able to shuck off the fact that I've got Parkinson's. So please, what I'm saying to you is, there's no formal appeal. They don't even know I'm doing it. Please send money to Parkinson's. Yeah, you can send £3 to a puppy, or you can see £3 to a lion, or you can see £3 to a child in distress, and all those things are very worthy. But Parkinson's does tend to hit you later in life, and it's just oldies that get forgotten a lot of the time. Well, we ain't forgotten. We have a voice, and we make it heard every day, and I make it heard to Parkinson's. Bugger off, I tell it. And it helps. I don't know that it buggers off totally. No, it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. I've still got it. But I do take a positive attitude towards it. And I would ask you to take a positive attitude towards it. Just send them a few bob. That's all. That's all, just to help the research. This one I saw where if I started to do Irish jigs, it would help. Well, if that's the sort of research that's being done, God bless it. Why not? Let's try an Irish jig. Not right now. It's breakfast time. Anyway, this is Key Hayes of Mirador Television saying to you, please, 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 will you consider giving some cash to Parkinson's? Give it a go. It's a disease that is forgotten largely in the welter of publicity that you can get about all the diseases that hit people. But some famous people have had it, and some famous people have fought it to the bitter end. I'm going to fight it to the bitter end. Have I got another week? Have I got another day? Have I got another year? Have I got another decade? Oh, God help everybody if I have. But I'm going to fight it. For as long as I've got left, I'm going to fight it. Why don't you help me? Run alongside me, right? Give it a little bit of something, even if you just wake up in the morning and tell Parkinson's to bugger off. I would urge you, don't forget it. That's the main thing. Toodle pip. Well, there you are. Walk with me and tell the Parkinson's to bugger off. Let's put it bluntly, bugger off. Be positive about it, and let's get rid of it. Now, I was just contemplating. We've only got 15 minutes left on this program, so there's no point in starting another major program. We'll keep that one for tomorrow. And let me tell you first of all that it is now 10:43 on the 13th of March, 2023. This is Mirador Television. I'm Keith Hayes, and we're broadcasting from the White Hart Hotel, where the three beautiful maidens look after me each day. And they actually look after you too. If you come and have coffee or a drink or whatever in here, you come into a wonderful atmosphere and to people who really care about you on an individual basis. Unlike some of the chains that we have, where all you are is just a number and are shown to a table and shown a stereotype menu. Now, this is an old coaching inn. It goes back to the 1500s. It has seen many famous moments of history through its doors. And it maintains that shambolic but beautiful way of looking after its guests. So do actually come here. Now, there are certain things I get very upset about, and frankly, I would actually put people in prison for this. But now I see that the wokes, who are trying to destroy our language, trying to destroy our culture, and trying to destroy our history for some peculiar. I think they've got advanced Parkinson's. They really don't know what the hell they're doing, and perhaps it would be better to put them down. Yeah, no, that matches Lineker. Yes, indeed. Now, apparently, they want the statues of old white men now face being hidden or destroyed. And let me tell you this. I have worked in Africa. I've worked in the Gulf. I've worked a little bit in Asia. And the people there have no idea what the hell we're talking about. They understand discrimination. They understand being put upon. They understand bias. They understand injustice. And they understand very much ill health. What they do not understand is our obsession with black, white, and in between. They just do not understand it. The only people that seem to understand it are us here and the wokes. And the trouble with the wokes is that they kick up such a fuss is that those people who are supposed to lead us, who are supposed to set standards, who are supposed to do rule of law, don't and give way to them. Now it appears that Wellington and Nelson are the latest heroes at the risk of wokery. Now, I'm seeing this reported in the Mail, and one would expect from its political stance on many things that it's attached Labour to it. But if in fact Labour is supporting such wokery, why is it forgetting what a sterling history, what a wonderful history, and what a wonderful impact the Labour Party has made on both politics and the social approaches to very many things in this country. And they want to do away with it. They want to wipe that out, the sense of history. What on earth has either political party got left if they do that? How crazy can they be? But perhaps that's why I rant and rave, because there is no substance to the political parties. At the moment, there aren't any great statesmen. There aren't any great movements. There aren't any great visions or plans. They are third-raters, just the same as the broadcasters on the BBC. We are surrounded by third-rate, and so it is easy for them not to put up any defense when a few people start to get the rest of us to behave like lemmings, to follow them toppling over a cliff. Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. The Duke of Wellington, Admiral Lord Nelson, they lived in different times. But we are here and who we are because of them. And we want to get rid of them, and particularly because they're white. What is this nonsense about white and black? It is rubbish. I had a young lady here last week I was chatting to. She's a delightful lady. She's about 30 years of age. And she was with her boyfriend. They had come down to Lewis from London for a 2 or 3 day break to get away from things. But one of the things that all her delightful is she said she was sensitive about being black. And I said, well, you've got no isms in here, darling. We don't care. What we look for, can you do the job? Are you capable? Are you competent? That's what I look for, and that's what this channel looks for. We don't give a sod about color or sex or religion or ethnicity or any of the other isms. We don't care. Can you do the job? Are you competent? And these woke people and the political parties don't care anymore. They've got so much stupidity that they wash around under our very noses and pose as if they know what they're doing when they don't, that it leaves me breathless. It leaves me aghast. And somebody somewhere has got to stand up and be counted and start to stand up to these people. They destroy the language of Roald Dahl. They destroy the language of Agatha Christie. And undoubtedly there are many other authors whose language they destroyed. All those things were written in a different age and a different era, and that's one part of their value. We need to know what times are like there, not try to eradicate everything, expunge what they reflect about times in those days. We need to know so that we can compare, so that we can put what we do in the moment into context, not do away with it. These wokes are really dangerous people, dangerous people. They tamper with the language. They tamper with how we should feel about history and what history did and didn't do. Of course we were slavists. Of course we were elitists. Of course we were biased. Of course we had lots of things to do in terms of eradicating people from our society. And we should know it and appreciate it for what it is, a lesson and an example to make sure we don't fall into that again. But in fact, what we are doing is what the wokes are doing is they are returning. And now let's get into the controversy. Let's really get into the controversy, because this is where I am with Lineker. The wokes are behaving as those did in Nazi Germany. They're indulging in book burning. They're indulging in expunging history. They're expunging in. They're indulging in expunging from our way of life all those things that they simply do not agree with, and they will not let the rest of us have that freedom to make our decision for ourselves. These wokes have got to be stopped, and our leadership is too weak to stand up to them at the moment. So if in fact the Mail is right and wokery is from Labour, then I urge Keir Starmer and his jolly bunch of opposition people to show some spirit and some mettle and to stop these people, because otherwise I am not going to know the glorious history that Labour has, the great contributions it has. I got an education, a good education, because of Labour pushing for an Education Act in 1940s or just after the war that opened up elitist schools to those of us who could not afford to go there. They want to even do away with those schools. What absolute rubbish and nonsense. I am fed up with dogma and doctrine. If you're awoke, hang your head in shame and know that at least there's one man here who's coming gunning for you. You assault my intelligence, but you insult my persona by suggesting that I do not know what I should think and what I should appreciate and what I should like, that you should tell me. Get off your particular pot. It is unbecoming, and it is nonsense and it is rubbish. And if I offend you, well, quid pro quo. You don't like it? Tolerate it. Depiction of historical figures now seen as aggressors who conquered people to expand the British Empire. Of course they did. That's what people did. It wasn't just the British Empire. Everybody was expanding. Belgium, France, Germany, Poland, Russia, all expansionist policies during that period. They were all doing the same thing. I don't notice some of these other, which are turning out to be rather more civilized societies than we are in the UK, expunging these things from their history. They haven't given way to this stupid woke nonsense. It is time to stop. It is time to draw a halt. I think that some wokes are quite intelligent people, and I understand the point of view that they're taking, but the way they're going about it is absolutely wrong. Their methodology has got to be stopped. And anyway, that would be good for them, because trying to be creative about the things that you want to achieve is the way that we actually go forward. The way that we actually develop our nation, not by burning books, changing the language, making accusations historically, defacing statues and pulling them down. That's not the way. That does nothing but shows that you're just destructive. You haven't got anything to add to the cultural development, or for that matter, the historical development of our country. So stop it. Go away. Do whatever it is you think you should do. By gum, lad. I'm enjoying that. So I should. Let's shall we just remind you who we are? In case you got lost in all that. Mirador country, nominally from Hastings to Brighton. In reality, we cover the world. We get responses from all over the place, as far away from here as you can get. Patagonia, New Zealand, British Columbia, Nigeria, Australia. We are local, but we are not parochial. We look at real issues, and we urge you, even if you're actually comfortable enough to just do the shopping, go for coffee, have cocktail parties, have dinner parties, at all a good part of the British fabric. I love those things myself, and I hope that we bring you some of the thinking from other parts of the world and show you some of the things that other parts of the world think we are absolute rubbish at, that we're absolute nonsense. And our obsession with isms is one of the things that makes us laughable. Oh, you say, no. That's not the case. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I challenge you, there are some people, including Stuart Dolby, who appears on this, who have travelled rather wider than I have. that I've been to 60 countries in this world, and I've worked in 40 of them, and some for as much as 2 years, such as Kosovo. I'm pretty aware of what people think and what they say and what they do. If you can match that and you can tell me otherwise, by all means do. And do not, as indeed this Lineker rubbish is, start with no background, no experience of what's happening in the rest of the world, because all you do is you make your case weaker and weaker. And you don't make a contribution to the healthy development of our society. The healthy development of our society. Not this pull-down statues of Nelson. Goodness gracious me. I know that you're few in number, but the mere fact that you scare the living bejesus out of a very weak establishment that we've got at the moment is threatening enough. Just as indeed the chances of war increase with every rocket that is fired by the Russians and every saber that's rattled by the Chinese. We need people of strength and candor, straightforward in their thinking and competent to stand up to these threats. And we have to stand up to you, because you are as destructive as any Russian rocket could be. It's 11 o'clock. Goodness gracious me, it is 11 o'clock. Here I thought I got a little bit more to fill. No. I have to go. It is Monday, and I'm afraid that that means that Tuesday is not far behind. So we look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning, Tuesday, at 8:30, and we will hopefully have one or two more things to make you smile, make you giggle, and make you look at us like Marmite. You love us or you hate us. But I bet you don't forget us. Toodle pip.